Now, breaking news from Channel 8 News Now.
Hi, everybody. Police are on the scene of an officer-involved shooting near I-15 and Blue Diamond. Police say a suspect and a victim have been shot. No word on their condition.
8 News Now reporter Aaron Drawhorn is there. He joins us now with the latest. Aaron?
Well, this ended in an officer-involved shooting, Gary and Denise, but it started with a red SUV firing gunshots at cars driving on Interstate 15. Definitely a dangerous drive on I-15 this afternoon. We have a couple of scenes here at I-15 and Blue Diamond. First, this is the parking lot, a crime scene of the Jack in the Box, where we believe the suspects were ultimately caught. Now, let's go live now to Chopper 8 HD, and I'll tell you how this thing initially played out according to police. Keep in mind, this is preliminary information. Police say a man was parked in a red sport utility vehicle near I-15 and Blue Diamond and opened fire on passing cars. We understand one person was wounded by this suspect in the SUV. That person is said to have non-life-threatening injuries. Obviously, someone shooting at cars on I-15. Police rush out to the scene. We understand a suspect was shot by Metro Police and arrested. The condition of that suspect is unknown, but the suspect was transported to University Medical Center. Police officers, we understand, involved in this incident are all okay. No one was seriously injured. Again, we have 2 people shot, one person by the suspect randomly firing in the SUV. The other was the victim, the suspect from the officer-involved shooting, if you will. Metro Police releasing few details right now because everything is so fluid. It's changing moment by moment. They do have a spokesman on the scene at a command post. We're going to get an official briefing coming up in a few minutes, and we will have the latest on this shooting and officer-involved shooting. Very dangerous situation on I-15 today with the suspect firing shots at cars. We will have that coming up on the news at 5 o'clock. For now, we are live at Blue Diamond and I-15. Aaron Drawhorn, 8 News Now.
All right, Aaron, thanks for that. And as you mentioned, this actually started on the highway. The shooting certainly impacting traffic in that area. So let's check in with Ken Smith up in Chopper 8, find out what's going on in that respect.
Yeah, for a little bit, the 15 freeway on the southbound side was completely shut down by NHP and by Metro, but now the only closure remains is going to be the Blue Diamond off-ramp from the southbound side of Interstate 15. Here's a live shot from Chopper, once again showing you that vehicle. We've been watching Metro down here taking numerous photographs, and you can see some of the evidence markings down here. Those are the bullet casings that they've been finding out here this afternoon, and this whole area has been sealed off by the crime scene investigators, and numerous officers are remaining out here. Now, how is this affecting the traffic? Now, Interstate 15 itself, it's actually doing pretty good this afternoon with no major issues here on the 15, northbound and southbound. You just can't get off at Blue Diamond. However, Las Vegas Boulevard, a completely different story. We've been watching this develop this afternoon. Southbound Las Vegas Boulevard especially is completely gridlocked for a good 1 mile stretch as you go from the 215 all the way down here to Blue Diamond. You need to start thinking about that alternate route. You might want to scoot over to the east. You could use Gillespie as a possible alternate route, or take the 215 over to Decatur. You could take Decatur all the way down to Silverado Ranch and or Blue Diamond and totally beat the traffic this afternoon. But once again, we're following this developing story with this officer-involved shooting, and once again, the Blue Diamond off-ramp from southbound Interstate 15 will remain sealed off until further notice while investigators continue to do their thing down here this afternoon. Reporting live over Interstate 15, I'm Ken Smith, 8 News Now.
Ken, thank you. We'll see you in a little while. Teacher along with 3 other people were arrested today in connection with a gun at a Southern Nevada high school. The incident happened this morning at Mojave High School. Police tell us the teacher was arrested because she knew about the gun and didn't tell authorities. She's been charged with child endangerment and adding to the delinquency of a child. The students were arrested after police found a loaded weapon in one of their backpacks. They've all been charged with gun possession. Police say they don't have any evidence the student was planning to use the gun, only that he was carrying it. The daughter of Colleen and Stanley Reimer took the stand in the case today. They are the couple accused of killing their 4-year-old son. He was left in the family vehicle for some 17 hours back in June of 2008. Reporter Melissa Duran's. She joins us now from the Regional Justice Center. Melissa.
Well, Gary, Crystal Reimer is on the stand, and she is actually testifying about incidents of child abuse she witnessed of her brothers at the hands of her father. Now, she described that her brothers were hit by fists and by oars. Now, up until this point, most of today's case has centered around Colleen Reimer, a Metro homicide detective who helped interview her after Jason's death, took the stand today. He read part of that transcript in court. Now, during one point, Colleen Reimer described asking briefly about Jason's whereabouts the day before he was found dead.
I went downstairs again for some reason.
And then what does she continue as far as a response to that in the next answer?
And I asked, where's Jason?
Who did you ask?
Just all the kids in general. I wasn't pointing to. And they said he was back in his bed, so I didn't think anything.
Detective Robert Rogers spent most of the morning and early afternoon on the stand. During his interview with Colleen Reimer, he said she seemed aware of her surroundings and did not have any problems answering questions. She told police she asked one of her sons to get Jason out of the car after returning home from church. However, she told police she never made sure Jason made it out. After they got home from church, she told police she cooked dinner, then went upstairs where she went to sleep for several hours. Later on that day, she asked a couple of times where Jason was, but never physically saw him before she went to sleep that night. Now, when the defense questioned the detective today, they pointed out that Colleen Reimer was extremely cooperative. She was very forthcoming with information. And they also pointed out that during the weekend of Jason's death, that Colleen Reimer was sick with laryngitis and bronchitis. Now, again, as I mentioned, Crystal Reimer is on the stand right now, and we'll hear more from her coming up on 8 News Now at 5 o'clock. Gary?
All right, Melissa, does the jury seem to be reacting so far in this? You've been watching them?
I have been watching them, and they are really interested in this trial, and they're keeping close notes, and they all have their notepads, and every single one of them is just jotting away, writing down every detail that they can possibly think of. A few of them have also written down some questions and given them to the judge so that he can ask of the people on the witness stand. Gary?
All right. Melissa, thank you very much.
Clark County School Board sent a clear message to Governor Sandoval today. Don't raid what's left in our bank. The governor has talked about taking the $300 million left in a reserve bond account meant to maintain schools in order to balance the state budget. Reporter Nathan Baca was with the school district trustees as they condemned the governor's plan essentially today. Nathan?
Well, even if Clark County doesn't grow much in the next few years, it still needs money to repair and maintain school buildings like the one right behind me here. And one trustee could barely hold back tears as she gave parents a message.
They are hardworking families, and they don't have that opportunity right now, and he's taking away their hope. So I think, Trustee Young, you are right on. We need to have everybody speak up.
The numbers are grim. Clark County projects losing more than $250 million in state funding this year. That comes out to $870 per student. 939 jobs funded by federal Title I and stimulus money may be lost. But today's fight was over $300 million from the district's debt service reserve. That account was approved by voters in 1998 to repair and maintain schools. Without that money, some in the local construction industry fear they'll be hit again.
By that funding being taken away, we could find ourselves in a position where we have even worse unemployment than we have now. Some of our craft unions are reporting higher than 50% unemployment right now.
Recent case law with the Clean Water Coalition indicates the legislature has the authority to take the money out of CCSD's hands if they approve the governor's plan. School officials say that could harm the district's AA credit rating by scaring away bond investors. Board members unanimously resolved to oppose the governor's plan for those $300 million. Now, the governor's office did contact us this afternoon saying that he firmly believes it is more important to use the money for salaries and classroom needs. He looks forward to working with the school district to reform education. Reporting live from Cashman Middle School, Nathan Baca, 8 News Now.
Nathan, I'm sure that parents are going to be pretty passionate about this as well. Is there anything that, moms and dads listening right now can do to get involved?
Well, there is going to be a legislative hearing February 28th, 5 to 7 o'clock at Green Valley High School. We have a reminder on that on our website. That's 8newsnow.com.
All right, Nathan, thanks. Clark County, though, is laying off more employees. The county is cutting 60 jobs from the Development Services Department. The pink slips are expected to be handed out tomorrow, we're told. The department deals with construction, building actions. The downturn in construction and development has meant a lot less work for that department.
You know, 5 years ago, this department had more than 600 employees. The economy was booming, times were good. Today, we're looking at reducing the size of the department to about 170 employees. It's a big difference.
Now, under union agreements, more senior workers will keep their jobs, which could mean a lot of shuffling around of positions. No other county department is expected to be affected, though, in this latest round of layoffs.
Warning this afternoon for parents. You might think the crib is the safest place for your child, but shocking new report shows it can be a lot more dangerous than you might think. The simple steps you could take to make sure your child is protected.
And local rock and roll musicians are coming to the rescue of homeless pets.
And we wanted to do something to recognize the shelters.
How you can help save an animal's life by enjoying some live music this weekend. And coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, the hottest deals for spring break just around the corner, and the methods local casinos are using to bring in the college kids.
All right, so the weather outside this afternoon is absolutely beautiful. A nice recovery from the storm that we had yesterday, that windstorm. Still somewhat breezy outside, and it's a lot cooler today than yesterday. Temperatures hovering in the mid to upper 50s. All right, what's up next? Another storm that'll bring us some more rain and a lot of mountain snow. That in the forecast coming up. See you in a few minutes.
You're watching 8 News Now at 4 with Denise Valdez and Gary Waddell. The news for Southern Nevada is now.
New report shows a shocking number of babies are rushed to the hospital every year because of injuries from cribs. The report shows nearly 10,000 children have to go to the emergency room. That's about 26 children a day. Most of the problems are from children who are between 1 and 2 years old who fall trying to get out of their cribs.
If they lean out over the top of a crib, they'll topple forward head first. And one of the common injuries that we saw were injuries to the head, face, and neck.
Doctors say when a child reaches 35 inches tall, they need to be in a toddler bed. Injury rates for children under 2 are improving because of better safety measures for cribs, including that ban on those drop-side cribs.
George Clooney is showing up in Cincinnati like you've never seen him before. An artist has recreated a portion of Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel with the Hollywood star there in the role of Adam. Clooney is in Cincinnati shooting his new movie, so the artist hopes maybe the painting will attract the star's attention. He'll come down, check it out. The mural was done on 33 Italian marble tiles. It's titled God's Gift to Women.
Well, it's not your typical classroom, hair, nails, facials. It's cosmetology school at the high school level. Students take their regular courses, but they mix in cosmetology for 5 hours a day. And as a resident of Southern Nevada, guess what? You could benefit too. Dayna Roselli shows us why it's cool at school.
Yeah, I did that. Uh-huh.
You did? That was pretty.
That was from yesterday, but yeah, a few of us are real talented with this kind of stuff.
Tara Silvaggio is practicing for a hair competition. It's something she has trained for at the Southeast Career and Technical Academy Cosmetology program.
I actually want to be in the casino business, and I eventually want to travel doing like makeup and hair.
The program is the only one like it in the entire state of Nevada.
Right now I'm doing a tint retouch with some shaving cream for practice.
These girls not only work on hair, they do facials and nails too. Community members can come in and get discount services. It's all part of the training process.
Oh, you're going, wow, look at you.
Connie and Vivian come into the school all the time.
$8 for a regular.
That's a deal, huh?
Oh, yeah, you bet. This is great. We come every few months. Yeah, price is right, and they do a nice job, and they get to learn, and we get the benefit.
The special needs classrooms come in for services too. The girls say there's nothing like hands-on experience. The more clients, the better.
We're not bad at what we do.
Right. No.
We have really, really good teachers that know a lot.
So when you first get your first client, you're like, oh, am I gonna mess up? But the teachers really help you a lot. So, you know, that if anything, they're going to teach you how to do it right.
The instructors are really proud of the program. It's a master's program, and the students get an 1,800-hour master license when they graduate.
Most of our students have no trouble getting a job. We work really well with our peers out in industry, and they're always looking for our students because they feel that they get an exceptional training here.
I think we're all really fortunate because we get to graduate and then we have like a career built up already. And while we go to college, we're barely starting and we already have a way to get an income.
The Southeast Career Tech Cosmetology School is cool at school. Dayna, Roselli, 8 News Now.
Students who want to attend have to apply and be accepted. If you want to stop by for a cut or some other service, the school is open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Friday. Haircut $6, cut and blow dry $12.
A group of local musicians were stunned when they learned how many healthy dogs and cats are euthanized in the valley because there simply aren't enough homes for them. So they're trying to do something about it. And here's how we can all save a pet by rocking out. These musicians love music just as much as they love their rescued pets.
I need your heart away. See you walk away.
So they're doing a fundraising concert this weekend for the Nevada SPCA. 4 bands singing their hearts out to help homeless animals. Producer Bob Lomacero was inspired after saving his little guy, Rockin' Ricky.
When you have animals like this, you realize that they do more for you than you do for them. And we wanted to do something to recognize the shelters.
NSPCA depends on donations to care for an average of 800 dogs, cats, bunnies. Another 300 animals come in every month. Shelter staff is excited about the event and proud of these performers.
For them to want to take out their time, their energy, their commitment and give it to us is just phenomenal. It's overwhelming.
Organizers hope the turnout will be overwhelming too. The Crown Theater at the Rio holds close to 1,000 people, and they want it packed Saturday night.
A small donation that you'll make to come and see a great night of rock and roll and a great night of musicians will go to help feed animals, help get some of these animals adopted out into loving homes, and dance and enjoy the night.
For $10, you can hear music inspired by U2, Journey, Heart, and The Doors. That's a bargain because you can't on saving a life. That's right, for $10. The show is going to be Saturday night over at the Crown Theater inside the Rio. Doors will open at 8, and you can buy your $10 donation ticket right there at the door and enjoy 4 live bands.
Very good.
Yeah,
Cool.
Nice lineup.
Yes.
Darren's here. Well, we weathered the first one maybe.
First storm, moves through yesterday. A lot of wind, a little bit of rain in a couple of locations, a little bit of mountain snow, but now we're getting ready for a really larger, a much bigger storm system will get here late tomorrow night in through Saturday. So there's a look outside this afternoon. It's still somewhat breezy. The wind's out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. I think by tomorrow morning, these winds will begin to taper off. So it's much cooler outside today. We did have a cold front that moved through with that storm. So highs yesterday in the lower 70s, highs today in the mid to upper 50s. So we're currently at 57 degrees out at the Strip. Out at the airport, we're at double 5s. There's still a wind out of the south at 18 miles per hour. Here are the other numbers right now. Beautiful out there, but cool. West Charleston, 56. West Alta, you're at 52. You head over towards the east. There are a couple 60s out there. East Flamingo at 61, as well as Van Wagenen down toward the south, Seven Hills in the upper 50s. And then you can see Pahrump at 55, Mesquite at 58, and Laughlin checking in right now at 53 degrees. So here's a look at, once again, the wind cast. And so somewhat breezy outside still. We'll get a break, I think, tomorrow before the next storm system gets here. And you see all those oranges? That will arrive tomorrow night. That'll give us a really good chance to rain. That we're going to see winds up near 25 miles per hour once again. All right, so as far as the rain situation so far this year, we've only had 1/107 inch of rain. Normally by this time, we'd be close to an inch. inch. So we do need some rain, and we do have rain heading our way. So here's a look at the weather advisories that'll go into effect tomorrow. A winter storm warning will go into effect tomorrow at 4 p.m. through 10 a.m. Saturday for Nye County, central Nye County, because the storm will get to you first. You're going to get some snow there, and then over towards the Caliente and for the Spring Range and the mountains. We're talking about a winter storm warning to go into effect at 10 p.m. tomorrow night through 4 p.m. Saturday. So we got this storm system heading our way, and we're going to get some rain out of it. Tonight we'll get down to 41 degrees, south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Forecast for tomorrow, it'll be warmer than today. A lot of cloud cover, a slight chance of a shower with a high of 63. And then here comes the rain late tomorrow night and through all day. I mean, really off and on all day, possibly on Saturday. It'll be cooler with a high of only 55. Still cool on Sunday with a chance of rain. We'll dry out Monday and Tuesday for President's Day and Tuesday before another system arrives. Wednesday and Thursday gives another slight chance of getting some rain here. So we've only had one 100th inch of rain so far this year. It's really tomorrow night, a really good chance of rain and a really good chance of rain off and on all day Saturday. So we'll have to keep that in the forecast for now, okay? Okay.
Henderson police raided 3 different locations in a big medical marijuana bust this afternoon. They raided the dispensary at Pebble and Eastern, a condo in Henderson, and a grow house at Serene and Pollock. Police say at this dispensary they found marijuana, edibles, and hash oil. At the grow house they found 5-foot-high pot plants. Police say the owner of the dispensary is an attorney from California.
Some confused drivers are driving one viewer crazy.
Coming up, the mistake they're making and the possible solution. Drivers mistake a side street turn for a major parkway, and then they swerve back into traffic when they realize the mistake. Here's what's driving you crazy with morning traffic anchor Brian Loftus.
Here's our question. Driving south on Las Vegas Boulevard at Windmill, there's a left-hand turn lane for Santoli Avenue, followed immediately by the left-hand turn onto Windmill. Many drivers mistake Santoli for Windmill and end up swerving back into traffic. And that swerve back into traffic is a recipe for disaster. Kyla once saw a driver hit the median and continue to drive on the median all the way to the turn lane. I ran Kyla's idea by county to mark the distinction between the 2 left-hand median cut-ins you see there. They told me improvements to the medians are included with their Las Vegas Boulevard project. But Kyla, they were prompted by your email to address this double turn issue right away. As you can see, the median island at Santoli is now painted yellow with reflectors and much more visible. Median nose signs will also be installed with this project, which should help confuse drivers and deter the swerve back into traffic. Good work, Kyla. Helped us out there. What's driving you crazy? Send your email to traffic8@8newsnow.com.
Another satisfied customer. Every weekday starting at 4 a.m., Brian will help you save some time on the road during your morning commute.
A neighborhood hurt by the foreclosure crisis is getting a much-needed revamp. Coming up, how federal money could finally make a difference and the impact the changes could have on everyone.
Listen up, balding men. A new test on mice could spell the end of the comb-over. How some stressed-out rodents could mean lush locks for life.
And a controversy over a candidate's house. The I-team investigates allegations that candidate for city council doesn't live in her district.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now at 4:30.
Thanks for being with us. We want to update you now on the breaking news that we've been covering this afternoon.
Police are on the scene of an officer-involved shooting right near the 15 and Blue Diamond. Officers say a suspect and a victim have been shot. Still no word yet on their condition.
Ken Smith in Chopper 8 above it with an update. Ken.
Yeah, we still have roadways that are shut down here below us here. We're along Interstate 15 at Blue Diamond, and we'll show you some of the activity. Ground zero is going to be right here this afternoon, right at the Blue Diamond off-ramp from southbound Interstate 15. Now, for a time this afternoon, southbound I-15 was shut down, but only now the off-ramp remains sealed off. Now, 2 folks were injured this afternoon from gunshots. One, the driver of that SUV, shot by police, and another one, the victim. We have some earlier video that we shot this afternoon of them actually being transported to University University Medical Center. Once again, we have not received word of the extent of injuries, but you can see one of the people just being offloaded and being escorted into the hospital via ambulance. So 2 people were injured this afternoon. As we go back out here live, we got major closures and major delays here this afternoon. You can see our live shop with Chopper 8, Blue Diamond Road westbound, completely shut down at this hour. Investigators have been out here combing through the area. Here's more earlier video I shot in Chopper 8 where they were having a general meeting this afternoon trying to discuss some of the details. Some bullet casings were found in and around that SUV, and there's one person that was detained at the Jack in the Box. We noticed 2 different people being detained by police. They could be somehow related to this entire situation. It's a very chaotic situation, at least it was earlier. Now things are starting to simmer down a little bit, but as we once again go back out here live this afternoon, you're going to find this off-ramp remaining shut down until further notice. Investigators are out here continuing to take pictures, and this SUV seems to be the center of some sort of potential road rage incident that happened a little bit earlier. We'll keep an eye on this for you. Aaron Drawhorn, our live crew, is on the ground. Metro actually moved them to a different location, so we'll have more details from them coming up tonight right at 5 o'clock. Reporting live here over Blue Diamond in the 15, I'm Ken Smith, 8 News Now.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Neighborhood in the northwest part of the valley has one of the highest foreclosure rates in the city. Now that neighborhood's getting millions in federal funds for a fix-up.
In fact, $970 million is being dispersed all across the country to make over these abandoned, foreclosed, short sale properties and get people back in there and living in them. Zahid Arab is live near Gilmore and Buffalo with more on what that means for everybody's home value. Zahid?
Well, Denise, this home is in foreclosure. There's a sign on the door, and there are about 124 others just like it in the area, empty because of the economy. This neighborhood is the only one that qualified for the program aimed at getting people to move in and maintain properties.
I think it's a great thing if people can get a federal program to move back into the neighborhood and fix the houses up and, you know, put new trees and plants in, make everything look nice.
Bruce Nygren takes pride in his home, but there's nothing he can do about its value. It's the lowest it's been in 16 years. Real estate experts say increased foreclosures cause area home prices to plunge. $10.4 million in federal funds are slated to revitalize 56 homes in the area by making them affordable to rent or buy if you qualify.
The more you let these homes deteriorate, the more that the neighborhood goes downhill and it becomes crime-ridden. So it's unfortunate that we have a neighborhood like that in Las Vegas, but I'm glad that we're going to be able to go in there and really work to fix the place up.
This is how the city plans to spend the money. $6.2 million will go towards buying and rehabbing 40 homes. The city will use $300,000 to help people buy homes. $2.6 of it will be used to buy and maintain 16 houses for rentals, and $1.2 million will be used for administration costs. Now, I spoke to a UNLV real estate expert who says 56 homes is just a drop in the bucket. He believes the money would be better spent preventing people from falling into foreclosures, but he says this is still definitely a positive program for the entire area. Reporting live, Zahid Arab, 8 News Now.
Well, it seems like all of us have at least one of those somewhere in our street, in our neighborhood. I mean, how badly, though, do those foreclosures ahead really affect everybody's overall home value?
Well, Denise, experts say having a foreclosure near you is kind of like catching a cold. While it affects them, you actually experience the brunt of it as well. They say it could affect your by decreasing it as much as 35%. So a big loss. Everyone's concerned out here.
Start cleaning them up one by one. All right, Zahid, thanks. Well, people are doing a better job of keeping up on their house payments. During the last 3 months of 2010, the number of homeowners missing at least one payment dropped to about 8%. Here in Nevada, the rate was about 12%. Still, the rate of homes in the foreclosure process is growing, about 4.5% nationally, 14% here in Nevada.
Veteran LA firefighters fighting for his life after a blaze in the Hollywood Hills. Spokesperson for the department says the fire spread from a fireplace, then it burned out of control, eventually led to the collapse of the roof. The veteran, who's listed in serious condition, one of 6 LA city and county firefighters who suffered injuries fighting this blaze. 4 of the 6, though, have already been released from the hospital. The U.S. is trying to calm the violence in the Middle East after another round of protests overnight put Bahrain on lockdown. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is one of several foreign ministers from the Gulf Cooperation Council who joined together for an emergency meeting today to discuss the unrest in the region. Overnight, armed forces in Bahrain's capital city rose up against pro-democracy protesters gathered in Pearl Square. Now, Clinton is calling on those forces to reconsider their actions.
We call on restraint from the government to keep its commitment to hold accountable those who have utilized excessive force against peaceful demonstrators.
The U.S. is also still concerned about Egypt and announced today it is pledging $150 million in assistance to that country after protests that lasted nearly 2 weeks.
Well, giant protests are crippling the state of Wisconsin today. Crowds have gathered at the Capitol in Madison to demonstrate over the state's budget. At issue is a bill that would have eliminated collective bargaining rights for state workers. It would also force state workers to pay for their part of health insurance and pension plans. Today, a group of Democratic lawmakers blocked passage of that bill by refusing to show up for a vote, then even left the state in an effort to get Republicans to negotiate a deal.
It becomes obviously just a sort of a waiting game. It's a way to protest the process. We'll see how long this works, because eventually you have to come here.
The governor says changes to state workers' benefits is the only way to tackle the state's $3.5 billion budget shortfall.
A cure for baldness has been sought for generations. Now researchers say they may have stumbled onto it. We'll show you how some stressed out hairless mice could be the answer to the receding hairline.
And the nominees are the Emmys of the food world announced their nominations, and we'll have some of the restaurants that made the cut.
So you remember December of last year? That was the last time we had widespread scattered rain around the state. And take a look at the radar, and we got another storm system heading our way, and we're going to get our chance for some more rain here. That's the forecast in a few minutes. See you after the break.
An accidental discovery by a group of UCLA researchers could have men saying thank you and showing off new heads of hair. Receding hairlines are a problem that affect nearly 50% of men in the U.S. and it has them shelling out some $3.5 billion a year to try to stop the receding hairline. But soon they might not need to do that. Researchers at UCLA were studying a group of mice injected with a vaccine originally slated to prevent stress-related stomach problems. Well, instead, what they found at the end of the trial, the vaccine helped the mice grow hair.
I want it. That would be my reaction because I don't have very much left.
I think everybody wants to have a full head of hair.
Researchers are now working to determine if the vaccine will only help men who are losing their hair because of stress or if it'll help all balding men. We'll keep you posted. Federal Reserve is reconsidering a move that would raise the fees merchants have to pay every time consumers swipe their credit or debit cards. Fed said today they're considering capping that fee at 12 cents per purchase after President Obama and Congress called on them to issue a reasonable rate. Right now, merchants typically pay between 1% and 2% on the transactions total.
Well, Las Vegas has some of the best chefs and restaurants in the entire country, but only 3 of them has been singled out as finalists for James Beard Awards. It's sort of like the Emmy Awards for food. Picasso at the Bellagio is a finalist for Best Restaurant. In the running for Best New Restaurant is China Poblamo, which just opened over the Cosmopolitan. It's brand new. And executive chef Saipin Chutima of Lotus of Siam could be named Best Chef in the Southwest. By the way, Lotus of Siam is a pretty unassuming little restaurant right off of Sahara. The winners are going to be announced in May. But of all the restaurants in the whole country, just 3 nods for Las Vegas.
Wow, yeah. They ought to be very proud, those 3.
Yeah.
Controversy over a candidate for city council.
The I-Team investigates allegations that one woman running for office doesn't live where she should.
This portion of 8 News Now is brought to you by D.R. Horton. You're watching 8 News Now at 4:30 with Gary Waddell and Denise Valdez. The news for Southern Nevada is now.
We just have all sorts of problems on the roads this afternoon. Now a union protest right in front of Palace Station is affecting traffic there. Let's check in with Ken Smith. Ken?
It is a rough one this afternoon here along Sahara. Sahara on the eastbound side is more. Most of the protesters are actually right here on the adjacent to the property line for the Palace Station Casino. And you can see the Culinary Union down here this afternoon protesting against Station Casinos. They're staying completely on the sidewalk. They even have folks out here kind of helping them march up and down here, trying to make sure that they do not spill over into the street here adjacent here along Sahara. This is going to be on Sahara just to the west of Interstate 15. I count at least 100 people down there protesting this afternoon. But we got well over 100 cars and well over 100 commuters here on the northbound side of Interstate 15. We had an earlier crash at Sahara, another crash at Charleston Boulevard, as usual at this time of the afternoon, causing a big backup here, gridlock on the northbound side of Interstate 15, starting back at Flamingo, and it continues solid on up here to about Charleston Boulevard. Definitely avoid the 15 freeway, and Las Vegas Boulevard, a traffic alert still in effect both northbound and southbound between the 215 and Blue Diamond Road. That's due to all that police activity out at Blue Diamond and Interstate 15. Reporting live here over the interstate, I'm Ken Smith, 8 News Now.
All right, Ken. Well, a candidate for Las Vegas City Council has been accused of not living in the district that she wants to represent, and the people making the allegations say they have the proof on camera. Adriana Martinez works as a community liaison for City Councilman Lois Tarkanian in District 1, but she's running for her own seat in District 3. A complaint filed yesterday says Martinez didn't move into the house in that district until just a few days ago. iTeam's Jonathan Humbert has the story.
How does a house become a home?
How embarrassing.
Is it defined by the trinkets inside?
These were high school awards that were given to me by the mayor.
Or the people who live there? People like Adriana Martinez, accused of not living in her district.
This isn't true. In fact, from what I saw there, I can clearly see why they would file that.
Take an extra copy. This afternoon, lawyer Terry Coffing filed the lengthy complaint alleging Martinez had not lived at the home on Sweeney in Ward 3 as the law requires.
And it's clear from the evidence that we gathered that she's not actually living in that residence currently.
Coffing's private investigator staked out the house multiple times a day in early January, eventually going so far as to set up a 24-hour fixed camera, rarely seen Martinez. There's a simple reason, she says.
My mother has had a knee replacement, a hernia operation, and she's been ill. My father passed away, and all I have is my mother.
Martinez has been staying in the casita in the back.
My daughter was here last night. I didn't make my bed. Sorry.
It's sparse, but the house is full of storage. She's been trying to rehab the foreclosure on Sweeney, but ran out of money after buying it in 2009. Now she spends most of her time in shifts with her sisters.
And I will stay at my sister Susie's house. I'll stay at my sister Gina's house, all for my mother.
She sees a personal attack.
They're trying to Lynette Boggs me.
Boggs, a former Clark County commissioner, was infamously caught on camera living outside her district. That brought her sanctions. Martinez says this family matter is a different story.
But I would hope that a judge would be able to look at what it is, what the facts are, and I would hope I would get a chance to explain this.
Coffing wants results.
Well, if someone wants to say no harm, no foul, but that's not what the law says.
He believes the fine line of house versus home is clear.
Owning a house is not enough. You have to actually live there.
Now Martinez begins her defense.
Did I expect it to get nasty? I think this is just the beginning.
Her family business up for debate. Depending on how the complaint is handled, Martinez expects to have to explain and document her mother's physical problems, her ownership of the house, and more. We've posted the full complaint on our website for you to decide. Jonathan Humbert, 8 News Now.
Private eye who conducted the surveillance and filed a sworn statement says that another person, a man, has been living in the casita behind the house and has been seen there nearly every day since early January. Until just 3 days ago, Martinez, he says, was not seen at that property at all. We'll have further details on the story as the complaint makes its way through the legal system. Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. A project came to Las Vegas today that encourages people to use a photo of themselves to send a message. The idea behind the I Am Equal campaign is for people to take a photo of themselves with the I Am Equal logo on the palm of their hands. Then when somebody asks about the photo and what the logo is, participant can open up about any issue they're passionate about.
The project really changes as each person shares what's important to them. There's no agenda particularly. It's really whatever you make your photo represent, because someone else is going to make their photo represent something else. And even we find that, as world issues change, people's photos change.
The I Am Equal Tour is hoping to get 175 cities and 125,000 photos. Among the local people getting photos taken today, Clark County Commissioner Lawrence Weekly and the cast of Jabberwockies, that dance crew.
Ah, good for them.
Very nice.
Well, this time yesterday we were dealing with all that wind. And,
yes, a couple of locations we had wind gusts up near 70 miles per hour back in Red Rock. So, but I'm here now to prepare you for the next storm that's heading our way. And some of you are probably going to like it. I mean, we're going to get a lot of mountain snow here. We're going to pick up some more wind, and we're finally going to pick up some rain. There's a really good chance of picking up some rain as early as tomorrow afternoon. A better chance tomorrow night in through off and on all day on Saturday. So outside this afternoon, the bigger story is really how much cooler it is than yesterday because of the cold front that moved through. So we were in the 70s yesterday. Today only highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. So Henderson at 55 degrees right now. Out at the airport at 59. Still breezy. The wind out of the south at 14 miles per hour. I'll step out of the way for the numbers there. West Alexander 55. You can see over towards East Washington at 60. West Alta, you're in the lower 50s. Red Rock, you're at 50, recovering from that wind you had last night. East Flamingo right currently at 60 degrees. Down toward the south, Laughlin at 62, and Alamo right now at 50. So the official high today here, we did make it up to 60. So the high yesterday at 71. So we erased 11 degrees. So that's unseasonably cool because the normal high is 63. The sunset will occur at 5:23 later on this afternoon. So here's a look at once again the wind cast. So the winds are not too bad outside right now. You have a little window here, but it looks like by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night in through Saturday, as the next storm system gets here, we're talking about wind gusts up near 40 miles per hour once again that are heading our way. Watches and warnings. Look at all these warnings and watches that are in effect for that storm that's heading our way. For us here, we have a winter storm warning that will go into effect for Nye County, central Nye County, tomorrow at 4 p.m. You're going to get some snow above 5,500 feet. And then for us here, Spring Mountains, Mount Charleston, winter storm warning goes into effect at 10 p.m. tomorrow night through all day Saturday. So there's a look at the storm that's heading our way. It's pounding San Francisco right now. Lots of snow in Reno, a little bit of moisture up towards Portland, and all that that storm system is heading our way. That'll give us a good chance for snow and some rain. Tonight we'll get down to 41. Forecast for tomorrow. It'll actually be warmer, a lot more cloud cover, a slight chance of a shower, but it's really tomorrow night late in through Saturday. That's our best chance for some rain and some more wind. We'll dry out on Monday and Tuesday for President's Day, and then we have another little weak system heading our way for Wednesday and Thursday that might give us another chance of rain. So we could really use some rain, and we're hoping that we get it late tomorrow night in through Saturday. So kind of a soggy pattern here, but we'll take the rain. We can always use the rain, okay?
Sure.
All right.
Well, the ambush and murder of an ICE agent has shocked the country, but not agents who've worked that same detail. Coming up, why they say being a federal agent in Mexico is becoming more and more dangerous.
Plus, a resort charging people to stay healthy makes an about face. New at 5, MGM Grand's motive behind the fee and why they've gotten rid of it.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now at 4:30.
The deadly attack on 2 U.S. agents in Mexico highlights the dangers of working as a federal agent in that country.
Now, it's dangerous enough for, Mexican agents, but being an American there is even more treacherous. Matt Rivers explains why.
It was very, very dangerous.
Jesus Carrillo spent years in Mexico, battling drug cartels undercover for the Border Patrol.
It's got two strikes against you. One, you're a law enforcement agent. Secondly, you are an American citizen.
Neither of which makes you popular in Mexico. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement currently has 30 agents stationed throughout the country, providing support to the Mexican government in its war against the cartels.
They really, they don't take it very kindly for you to be working in foreign soil. If they were followed, I can assure you that they were targeted by the cartels. They knew exactly who they were.
As Special Agent Victor Avila recovers tonight, fellow ICE agents continue to work in 47 different countries around the world. It's a job not many want, and Carrillo says those who do should be admired.
Those agents, I can tell you, they're very brave. If you take a poll, I can assure you that there's very few that are willing to go out there and do it.
That was Matt Rivers reporting. Members of a Mexican gang are believed responsible for the highway ambush. A task force led by the U.S. Attorney General's office has been put together to try and find those suspects.